If you do any kind of creative work, then a crappy mental health is probably part of the package. Whether you're just starting out making beats in your bedroom or if you're filling out arenas, the mental battles don't magically go away. In fact, in some cases, they can get way worse. Now, as a DJ, music producer, and now content creator, I've dealt with the pressure, the overthinking, the burnout, and the random attacks that hit you when you're just sitting there. But over time, I've found a few things that actually help. They're simple and sometimes even boring, but they work. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 practical ways that have helped me gain control of my mental health. Not in theory, but in practice. The first thing is delete social media apps from your phone. Social media is an anxiety fuel. So there's something that I used to do with my phone. I'd pick it up planning to text a friend or do something productive, and I would do that half the time and then automatically just go to TikTok or Instagram and then start scrolling. Over time, I realized something about social media. It is never ending. You could scroll forever. You could put your phone on the charger and theoretically scroll for 1 full year straight. You will never reach the bottom of that feed. And another thing about it is that what you're seeing on social media is just highlight reels of people's lives. So if I'm just having a sandwich, a random PB&J sandwich, I'm not gonna post that on social media. But if I'm planning a trip to the Maldives, you best believe I'm going to post that. And when you see those kind of things, you're not actively comparing yourself to those people, but subconsciously you are, and your life kind of looks dull in comparison, but it's not. There was a time where I would call my girlfriend, now wife, while she's at work and tell her that my brain physically hurts and I was stressing about nothing. Like, I couldn't tell you what I was stressing about, but I was. And I explained everything to her, and she said, well, what you're explaining to me sounds a lot like anxiety. And at the time, I was like, I'm black, man. Anxiety and depression, that's rich people stuff. Like, I'm African, okay? We don't get that. But turns out it doesn't discriminate. And yes, I was dealing with some kind of anxiety. And I didn't know how to deal with it at the time. But it got to a point where I was kind of burnt out from posting content on social media. So I decided to take a break, and by taking a break, I deleted Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok from my phone. And in about 1 or 2 days, I promise you, that's how fast it works. 1 or 2 days, I was like completely fine. Like, yes, I did miss scrolling, but mentally I was doing super well. So now what I do is I schedule all my content and then I delete the apps from my phone. So on Instagram, you can schedule your post by going into the advanced options. And then on TikTok, if you use TikTok Studio on your phone, or if you just go on the desktop version of TikTok, you'll be able to schedule all your posts. Or you can use an app blocker, but I've found that not having the apps at all on your phone is the best way to go about it. The second thing that you can do is create what you love. Chasing trends will break your soul. So to give you some context, I'll give you a bit of a backstory. It's back in 2020, 2021, and it's during the COVID times, and everybody is locked in their houses. And everybody was on TikTok at the time and they were dancing. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So me being a producer, I would remix trending tracks and then put them on TikTok, and they would get some views, you know, like 50K here and there. And that was good. But during the time, there was a trending genre of music called Amapiano here in South Africa, and it was just booming. It's even bigger now. And you could literally take anything and turn it into Amapiano, and people would go crazy over it. So naturally, to get views, I would take trending tracks and turn them into Amapiano, or even take random sounds and do the same thing. And my profile just shot off the roof. It blew up. I got radio interviews. I got a deal with Universal Music to release a song under them. It was just nice. But the problem is, I hated the process of making those tracks. I didn't even listen to them. I just hated it. But at the same time, it was bringing me money and views. So I was like, hey, let me do that. Now, as you can imagine, I was not happy at the time. I was chasing the bag instead of just being creative. And I did speak to some people, but a lot of them didn't understand it, especially the industry execs. They're like, hey, if something is trending, you need to get in on that to like make money. The only people that understood me are other creatives, but everybody else was like, what are you crying about? So after realizing what it was doing to me, I stopped doing those Amapiano remixes. There were remixes that I put here on my channel that were approaching 1 million views, but I took took them down. Well, they're still here, but they're private, because I knew that everybody that was coming to my channel for those tracks would not necessarily enjoy the stuff that's natural to me, the stuff that I like, for instance, this video. So now I just create what I love, and even though I am not releasing all the time, just creating stuff because you want to is honestly the best remedy. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Tozy and I make videos about music production, DJing, and the tech involved. And if that's something that's interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Now, back to the video. The third thing is socialize. Isolation is unnatural. There's this thing that I've seen a lot on Hollywood or social media where a music producer is surrounded by like 10, 20 people and he's making a beat. But in reality, in real life, when we're making music, we're alone and we're hunched over a desk or something like that. And being alone for that long is against our nature. Human beings are primates and primates are known for being social. So it kind of sucks that our work forces us to isolate. There's a reason why solitary confinement is one of the worst things that can be done to a human being. If you don't know what it is, basically, if you're already in prison and you do something bad while in prison, they take you and they put you in a room with no windows and it's just four walls and you don't hear any sound. It's just you by yourself. And when I'm saying it right now, it doesn't sound that bad, but in reality, it's one of the worst things that can be done to a human being. Some people start hallucinating and they start ripping off their nails. It's the worst. Now, that's an extreme example, but what we're doing is a form of isolation. It does have some effects on our mental health. So what you can do is put in some effort to spend time with your friends, family, or your partner, or you could go for a walk. In fact, it's something that I'm going to do today. It's now 12 p.m., but at 4, I'm going to walk to my wife's workplace and then we're going to walk home together because walks are so therapeutic in ways that I didn't know were possible. Or you could attend more social events. Like, since a lot of us are introverts, when we get invited to like a party or something like that, we make up excuses, but we could actually put in more effort to go to those events. There was a time when we were kids and we would hang out a lot and play together and we didn't have all these issues, but now we're adults and we're isolating and we're dealing with all these issues. I don't think that's a coincidence. Fourth thing, take time off. If you don't rest, you'll crash. Now, one thing that I like to brag about, and I'm sure that you guys do it too, is the fact that I'm not tied to a 9 to 5. I can work whenever I want and I am free, blah, blah, blah. But as much as we brag about that, we fail to realize that we're stepping away from the 9 to 5 and stepping into a 24/7. And if you're doing something or even thinking about it 24/7, then you're doing too much. And that's a perfect recipe for burnout and all the anxiety that we feel. So what I like to do is treat it like it's a 9 to 5. So I wake up in the morning and I do whatever it is that I need to do. And then I give myself like 4 or 5 hours to work. And then outside of those hours, I don't even check my emails. I just chill or do whatever that it is that I'm doing, but I don't do anything work related. And if I have an idea for a track or anything like that, I just open up the voice memos app and then I record myself and then I'll check it tomorrow or whenever it is that I'm going to be working. This is just so that you can have a life and a time away from work where you can be present wherever it is that you are. So what I like to do is dedicate a few days in a week where I work and record videos for like 2-3 weeks. Let's say on Monday and Tuesday, I record the videos, and then Wednesday and Thursday, I edit them, and then Friday, I focus on my music and DJing and all of that. And then by doing that, I get like a week or 2 per month where I'm free to do anything. And that for me is the best way to be. And then the last thing that you can do is to find hobbies that you cannot monetize. You need parts of your life that are just for you. This is essentially about finding things that you like but cannot put on social media. For instance, I started making music because I love music and I love the process of making music, but I put it on social media and now for me it has become a job and I would choose it every single time, but it gets stressful. It's no longer the fun thing that it used to be because now there's money involved and there's like a livelihood that's at risk. If I stop, then I don't eat, you know, that kind of thing. So it's more stressful than it was before, but I still love it. Do you guys remember that quote that said, if you find something you love, then you'll never work a day in your life? That sounds really cool and profound, but only for an Instagram post back in 2015. In real life, it's not like that. If there's money involved and if it's now your career, it's gonna get stressful and you will work multiple days of your life. Like, you will work every day basically. One drastic thing that I did to find hobbies was to stop drinking. Now, I do drink now, but I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that. But the reason why I stopped is because I knew that it's very hard to find boring stuff when you're drunk. Anything is interesting when you're drunk. For instance, if your friend says, let's go fishing, and one of you brings a bottle, well, now you're not just fishing, and you're very likely to enjoy the activity, even though you don't necessarily enjoy sitting by a river or a dam or whatever with a rod, and you're sitting there for like 30 minutes and nothing is happening. But if you do it sober, if you do anything sober and you actually enjoy it, then you know for a fact that this is something that you enjoy. So that's the reason why I stopped drinking for that period. So I tried out a few things, and now I know that I'm a sucker for nature, whether it's in the savannah or if it's in the water or anything like that. I really, really like it. But of course, there are things that I don't like. I tried painting with my wife and it's painfully boring, but there are a few things that I tried that I really like, and I'm keeping those to myself because I know that if I start posting about them, then they can turn into a job and I can monetize them, and my hobby will then be taken away from me. Those are the 5 things that have helped me gain control of my mental health. If this video was valuable to you, please consider subscribing and liking. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.